Okay, this is part 2 of my Calm Down, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze is part 2. Now, in the first part I said that it was perfect for the VGX because it was truly next gen, and what does next gen truly mean? Now, in the strictest definition of the word, next gen simply means it's the next generation of hardware, right? In the strictest denotative, i.e. the true definition. Now, the connotation, i.e. what the definition has taken on or has been added to the definition, or what people mean when they say next gen, has become a marketing buzzword by douche analysts within various corporations, mostly Western companies or westernized Japanese companies like Microsoft and Sony. And really this started with the Paramount douchebag westernized company known by the lovely moniker of EA. Now, the important thing to realize about about the term next gen is that it has taken on a pejorative meaning or a negative meaning. It's been basically used to discount people who don't ascribe to the next gen model, which basically means that lazy ass software developers who instead of utilizing the full extent of the hardware that they have, claim that it's the power that's holding them back, instead of admitting that they just don't have the creativity to do new things with the hardware that they have. So basically, instead of them admitting we're running out of ideas, our ideals are getting stale, we're just slightly tweaking the same damn formula, they say, oh well, we need newer hardware, which is basically the equivalent of someone saying, well, I can't write with this pencil, so I need a mechanical pencil, or I can't write with a pen, so I need an ultra expensive fountain pen. You know what I'm saying? Which is it's someone blaming the tools and not the tool maker, okay? Because maybe you're just not talented. For example, my intros aren't very sophisticated. That's not, my talent doesn't lie in that. My talent is thinking about things, writing things down, analyzing things. I'm good at that. That's my strength, okay? Now, that's, that's basically what's going on here, is that these people don't understand that that's how things are supposed to go. Now, next gen has been used by various Western corporations and been picked up by some of the more westernized Japanese software developers in order, to explain away, why they are unable to do certain things, or as a buzzword to get people to buy their games. Oh, this is a next-gen graphical engine. It utilizes the greatest tech. Let me tell you something. The biggest offenders in the westernized Japanese market have been Sony, Square Enix. These two companies have been notorious about using next gen as a buzzword. This is our next gen game, our next gen system, our next gen graphical engine. Here's the thing you need to understand about next gen anything. It means it's more expensive, okay? It means that the budgets are being exploded, okay? And, it also means that their developers are friggin' lazy, okay? Lazy. I said it, okay? And I'll prove it to you, okay? The two examples that I mentioned. First, Square Enix. Square Enix, their big thing when they released Final Fantasy 13 was that it included their next-gen graphical engine. That was the only thing they mentioned. The storyline, Final Fantasy 13 is a travesty compared to the types of Final Fantasies that came before it. Even Final Fantasy 11 was better than was it 12? Sorry, Final Fantasy 12 was better than Final Fantasy 13, and Final Fantasy 12 was garbage. Okay. How could this be? Because they spent their time and energy trying to make a pretty game instead of trying to make a good RPG. Because RPGs, by their very nature, aren't necessarily supposed to be pretty. Graphics are a very small portion of what makes a good RPG. Okay? Hence why I've said in other videos that if an RPG maker comes up to you and says, "Oh, this game looks great," I don't really care. I don't really care how an RPG looks. I want to know if it has a compelling story, if the battle system is usable, if, am I going to become emotionally and mentally invested in this game? Am I going to get that? If not, then graphics don't mean jack. Graphics are like 10% of the total equation for an RPG. Now, next for Sony, their next-gen system. We continuously hear this from Sony. "Oh, this is our next-gen system. It's next-gen. It's next-gen." Really? 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 Okay. I mean, I will take that it's next-gen in terms of, it's next-gen in terms of it's the next system after the PS3. Is this system next-gen in terms of change, in terms of, changing the game? Is it next-gen in terms of bringing something new to the party? Not really. The controller, the PS4, the DualShock 4 is a friggin', it's a DualShock 3 with a touchpad. I mean, I guess you could do something with the touchpad, but hell, that's not really what I would call next gen, Microsoft, just as an addition, didn't even try and make a next gen controller. It's basically the same shit with rumble in the triggers. Ooh. The future is here. But anyway, I'll tell you what next gen truly should mean. Next gen means that it changes the way that you play games. Okay? That's what next gen means. For example, the Atari was like the first well-known home video gaming console. Okay? There was a system that came out before it. I forget the name of it, but TV something. But, Atari is what made it popular, okay? Now, when Atari went down the tubes and the other, Americanized companies went down the tubes, Nintendo came to the party and brought the NES. The NES was next gen. Okay? It was next gen. It had games that looked 100 times better than what you had on an Atari. It had more sophisticated games. It changed the way that people gamed. Okay, that was next gen. SNES, next gen. Sega Genesis, next gen. These were systems that brought something new to the party. They changed how you gamed. The original Sony PlayStation was next gen. None of their systems since then, in my opinion, have been next gen. And I'll tell you why. Because aside from better graphics, it hasn't changed how you game. It hasn't. You could say, well, the PS3 had motion control. They stole that from Nintendo. They stole that shit from Nintendo. You could say online play, but Dreamcast did that, so I mean, that isn't exactly what I would call next gen. So what was added that, nothing has really been added by Sony aside from the original Sony PlayStation, and the only thing that they added was the CDs, the expansiveness of a CD. Okay? That was the only thing that was added. What's next gen? Now, I mean, despite what many people may say, Nintendo has really innovated and added next-gen capabilities. Motion control, standardizing it. Because, I mean, if you owned an NES, the Power Glove was motion control, but it was really, 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 really shitty. Very rarely worked. Even a brand new Power Glove with an old TV, it very rarely worked. You know, next gen. I watched the VGX and I kept on hearing it's the next gen from developers and the Doritos King, you know, Jeff Keighley. Next gen. It's next gen. Don't believe that BS tagline of next gen. Okay, before you before you hear yourself falling for this, before you feel yourself falling for this marketing, this BS marketing bandwagon term, you know, a little bit of a heads up, okay? I took logic in high school and college. Logic basically tells you how to see through marketing gimmicks and fallacies. Not just marketing, but how people kind of fool you into thinking, following their brand philosophy or whatever. One of the things is called fallacies, okay? And there's 16 of them. 2 of them are bandwagon, so everyone's playing this, you need to play it too. That's the bandwagon fallacy, okay? Because not everyone's playing. But, you know, that's the BS tagline they use. And then there's the other fallacy is it's the newest and the greatest. Next gen. It's the newest. It's next gen. It's the newest and the greatest. Is it? Because, I mean, it seems to me that you're just using PC textures to upgrade it. And both the Xbox and the PS4 are basically mid-level gaming PCs from 3 years ago. So that isn't really next gen if you're going with graphical capabilities. I mean, I have a friend, I built a PC when I was in college, and I used the cheapest parts, and it was better than, like, the normal PCs that were around at the time. And, you know, I haven't seen, I mean, you know, that was like, geez, I'm 27 now. That was 6 to 7 years ago. It seems a little odd to me that, you know, people are, you know, this is next gen, you're using 3-year-old technology, how is that next gen? You stupid. Don't believe the BS, okay? Don't believe the BS. Now, before I sign off and upload this video, I only have one thing to say to you guys. I have an EA rant coming today, and it's gonna be a doozy. Watch it. You're gonna love it. I'm gonna tear EA a new one. You might feel sorry for them before the end of it. Wait for that. It's coming. Have a good day.